welcome to Season 2, Episode 5. I was about to say Season 5, Episode 2. That's still a long way off, guys. But still, Season 2, Episode 5 of The Kevin Show. And Cranes Etc. just released his Nuremberg Toy Fair report 2016. And he gave us a nice little look at some of the models coming out, including the mechanism to turn on the lights for the underground mining models. And I have to say that I'm going to get those models just because they light up. But I guess it's like a pressure button deal there. But like the way it was showcased on the Toy Fair review was that you press down on the cab and it lights up, which for me, like if it did not have that feature, I would not get it. So smart marketing by Diecast Masters. But in this episode, we're going to talk about a different company. With all the talk about Diecast Masters, we're going to showcase one of the smaller companies, and that is IMC Scale Models, the guys who are making all them SPMTs and all that stuff now. Well, Cranes Etc. made a very good point. IMC Scale Models used to be Tonkin of Europe, aka the guys who made the Caterpillar models. And we're going to go back even further than that, and we're going to take down a little bit of history here. So, class is in session, get out your notebooks, and let's study. So, pretty much, Tonkin of Europe started as WSI Models. But then there was this Chinese takeover and stuff like that, and don't want to go into it. And eventually, like most of WSI of Germany and the owner were pretty much shut off and were kicked out of WSI Models essentially. So WSI of Germany and the owner of WSI went on to link up with Tonkin, and together they created Tonkin of Europe. They later on, once Tonkin got the cat license and all this, they went on to make the cat models like the 966, 972, D6R, and all that. They were the guys behind all it. Let's put it this way: Tonkin of North America, or Tonkin of the US, are the guys who make the truck models. Tonkin of Europe were the guys who made the cat models, which is part of the reason, I guess, why they made some Asian spec models and some American spec stuff and all the other stuff. So they really did balance it out, to be honest. But anyways, so yeah, once Tonkin essentially sold out because they weren't forcibly taken over like Norscout was, and not forcibly taken over, but forced to give it up like Norscout was, Tonkin just sold out. They just sold out. And pretty much ever since then, I guess since the name change, like they've been cut off from Tonkin. And now they go on to form IMC Scale Models. So these guys do have some history. First they was WSI of Germany, and then they were Tonkin of Europe. Now they're IMC Scale Models. And what is very interesting about this is they're doing a lot of stuff that NTG and people like them used to, like the SPMTs and all that. They look good, but honestly, I would not see myself buying the models, to be honest, because the SPMT isn't something like I'd be interested in. I'm more of a general earth moving, and then I'll get into cranes sometimes, but not a majority of the time I'll stay in the earth moving stuff. But I can say this with confidence: if you're a fan of that awkward stuff like the SPMTs and some of that other stuff, then IMC Scale Models, they do have the background for you, I will say. WSI, well known in the model truck industry. WSI's best known model was the Hitachi 870. These are the guys that built the 870, the original one, not that little knockoff with the 3 attachments and all that come all together, but the original 1000, the limited edition ones like mine with the card. And by the way, the one with the attachments, it's all the same. It's just redistribution, which is kind of sad almost. Because that model was set to be like strictly 1,000, and everybody wanted to get their hands on it, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're gonna have more. So it's just like that ruins the value of the model. I mean, you don't see CCM reproducing, the 385 and all that. I mean, once it's at like 1,000 or whatever the limit is, it's strictly 1,000, and they're never gonna be produced after that. But I still say WSI fucked us over on that one, to be honest. But anyways, in the sense that they built the 870 and then they built all the Tonkin cat models. There is some good confidence there, I will say. Now the question is, I've been asked this question too, because I always talk about the topics with a select few people before I actually do them, and they asked, why was there quality control issues if they made the 870? Well, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but they were the ones who made the 870. They were the ones who made the Tonkin Cat models. And, I mean, now they're off in their own venture because they lost the Cat license. They don't have the Hitachi license anymore. The only people that really have the Hitachi license is TMC, which is essentially Hitachi's own, like, private model company. And Hitachi's adversaries, not including John Deere because of their little Erdl butt buddy relationship over there, but that's how it is. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing now. IMC scale models. They were at Toy Fair. They are relatively new, and I mean, Cranes etc. said they're a new face, but really they're not in retrospect because they were the ones showing off Tonkin cat models the last couple of years, and it's actually hard to since they got their license in the first place. And by they, I mean Tonkin. I look back to my memories on Facebook or on the state thing on Facebook, and I seen, the new Tonkin 966 looks great, and that was in 2013. So it's hard to believe. Been 3 whole years since they started producing. So sounds actually pretty good. I've also now here's another question. What's Norscott's future? Now that is a very interesting question, and I kind of want to put it like this. I want to preface this with Norscott does have other licenses besides Caterpillar. They've always had other licenses. I mean, they've had Liebherr, and I put that in past tense because they no longer have, to my knowledge. Of course, that's really nothing to go by. Well, some things are to go by, other things not as much. But anyways, let's see. They had the Grove license, I believe, didn't they? They had. I think they had the JLG at one point too. I know they made scissor lifts. They've had the Rotec license. I think they still do. I think it's a joint agreement with First Gear or something like that. But then they had the obvious Cat, and they still have Bobcat though, and that's the interesting point though. And it is, yes, Bobcat had Norscott make the E35 and S750, if I'm not mistaken. But all of a sudden, like once everybody knew that Norscott was making the Bobcat models, it's just like, oh my god, the price doubled because they used to be $7.95 or something like that, $7-8. Now they're $14-15 each, and it's just like, yeah. I was lucky enough to get mine when Bobcat first released them. Thanks to my good old buddy McLean Joyce, or fucking Cat 336 DL100 or Dirt Dobbs, for showing me those back in 2013. They are very nice models. I would pick one up. I really would. So yeah. Now then, on to the next thing, and we got another visual of the Diecast Masters 335, and we actually got video of like it, being rotated and actually like showcasing it a little bit. And I'm kind of jealous of Ian over at Diecast Masters. Yeah, right. At Cranes etc. Because he actually got to see all these models up close, and And I would have loved to see that 335 in person, to be honest. It looks like a great piece. And actually, in the video, the tracks did not look as bad as in the pictures. But that is really nothing to go by, in all honesty. Until you get the model in your hands, then yes. Oh, by the way, the 335 is up for pre-order. I've already got my order in. And they will be $75. It's been a very long time since we've seen a quote-unquote high-class excavator, for a cat excavator, I should say, in the terms of $75. You have to go back almost 4 or 5 years to the 336 when it was relatively new. It was $75 back then, and that's when the 320s were like $50. Now they're like 75, and the 336s are like 90. But now we're starting to see a 335 go for $75, and Diecast Masters, I have to say, good job. But here's the one catch. The 420 F2 is going for $77, so it's literally going for $2 more than the 335. And also, the delivery dates are different in the sense that the 420 F2 will be here next month, and the 335 FLCR will be here expected in June. Hopefully, it gets here in time for my birthday, but you never fucking know. But I will be very curious to see how this all goes and how this all plays out. Of course, the D9, we're expecting it relatively soon as well, I believe. I believe it's coming out in March, probably June, though. But it does look very good with the GPS pods on top and all that other stuff, I will admit. As much as I was very critical about Diecast Masters when they first released the images of some of the models, I was very critical about them. But now looking back, I think that, they are doing a decent job. Of course, they are new, so yes. So yeah, I guess I'm trying to extend this out a little bit, though, in the sense that, really, the shows haven't been that long recently. I mean, the last one was 45 minutes. It would have gone longer. Me and Tommy over at Diecast Emporium could have gone on forever. And that is a understatement. It really is. So anyways, we're going to search up on the good old Model News 101 Facebook page. Be sure to check it out. Check it out. So yeah, the prices are as follows. The CT681s will be $69, and the 18 M3 will be $116. The 12 M3 will be $75, and the D9T will be $103. Interesting point. All those will be this summer. Of course, now we have more photos of the 335 FLCR, and I will say it does look good. As highly critical as I was about the tracks, I mean, it's a brand new model company, so I'm going to cut them some slack on the tracks. I'm not a fan of the blade, though. That blade will never, ever, 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 ever grow on me. I don't know. Seeing a blade on a machine, on an excavator that size, just doesn't make sense to me. Even though it's probably popular in European markets, because we all know the Europeans have some weird shit. But that's coming from the American standpoint of view. Right? Yeah. But anyways, it does look good. I like the boom on it too, to be honest. It does look decent. Now, one thing I like, though, is that the high-vis vest that the little dudes in the cab are wearing, they do have actual reflective paint on them, which really does actually sway my opinion on it, though. It makes it look pretty good. They actually put effort into it, like individual hair, like you could tell, like there's hair. And there's no faces on the figures, which makes it look a little bit creepy, but at the same time, though, it doesn't look half bad. I'm not a fan of the tracks. They actually kind of remind me of the 2954D tracks on the Ertl log loader a little bit. But at the same time, though, they still look decent enough to make me want to buy it, which I already did. The blade, though, I still don't like it. I wonder if like the blade will be easily removable, or it'll be another like hack job, like some other stuff is. M316. But anyways, yeah, it does look good, and I'm glad that they include the rear view camera, because let's put it this way, the rear view camera should be like an expected thing at this point in time, because most excavators have them nowadays, and if like they didn't include that, or they would have done a little fuck job like Norscot did, where it's just a little dot, it wouldn't have been right, but they actually included, it looks like it's a die-cast piece, but it probably isn't, it's more likely plastic, but at least it's a separate piece, and you can actually tell, like, hey, there's a camera here. And like I said in the last episode, I am so glad that they put the hydraulic lines off to the side like they should be. Because, let's put it this way. The hydraulic pump is on the side, not in the back. Like a standard excavator, it's on the side. So, just to clarify that. But also, it looks like you got some nice auxiliary hydraulic lines there, and it looks all around very nice. So, all around, I am actually pretty happy with the 335 in the sense that it looks good. It does its role quite well. So, you know. So, anyways, I also want to give a little shout out to Walter Moore, aka Mini Movers, who actually went to it, and he is probably one of the best guys out there when it comes to going to these shows. He absolutely loves this. So, you know, good. Let's go, Walter. So yeah, there's really not going to be much more to say, except for the tins look actually pretty damn good, I will say. Many people are not a fan of the collectible tins, but actually I have to say that I think it's a nice detail. Like, it's a nice presentation detail. It's wholesome, it looks good. You know, some people don't like them because they can't smash them up and burn them in fires for whatever reason, but they still look good, nonetheless. And also, I mean, you get a collector's tin for less money than you would a Norscot one, because if we would have gotten the collector's tin, who knows, maybe the D5G would be worth magically $200, or not D5G, D5K2 would be magically worth $200 just because it has a tin case, but this time the models are actually cheaper. So, my applause fucking goes out to Diecast Masters. But also, like, they didn't just hit the 150 scale models with the figurines. They actually got the 187th ones, too. The 187th 627G has a little figure in it. It's hard to see, but it's there. So, they've hit up all the models, and it looks pretty decent. And then, also, I believe Tommy mentioned this, but instead of the antenna, which they did away with, by the way, the old Tonkin antenna that would fall off, they added a beacon. But it also seems, though, that the little hole where the antenna went in is still there. What's that all about? Like, really? Couldn't you have, like, if you're going to add a beacon, why couldn't you just redone the entire roof section, since it's just a plastic part anyways, and just redid it and taken out that antenna place? But, that's up to you. But also, there is some stuff, some different detailings on there or whatever. But all around it does look good, I must admit. That's the 972M, by the way. So yeah. Anyways, we're probably going to wrap up the show there. I just want to get out the brief history of IMC models and, you know, give some final opinions on some of the cat models. Anyways, guys, that's it for this episode. I hope you liked it, and we'll see you in the next one. Catch you later.